What's up, guys? Welcome back to Pack Rations. I am your host, Chef Chris, aka Mr. Bojangle. I'm working off camera today, just getting some prep ready for the live stream tomorrow. So we're making marinara sauce for chicken parmesan. So I want tomorrow to really focus on that three-step breading, how to get that really solid full bread on that cutlet, get that nice fry, and then the beautiful plate up, of course. So today we're going to cook off the pasta, make marinara sauce. Let's first talk about our ingredients. So I've got some fresh onion and garlic and some dried Italian herbs. So basically I'm cleaning out my cabinets, cleaning out my kitchens, or my cabinets and refrigerator. I had some leftover onion, garlic, and again, just some stuff that I need to get rid of. So for the herbs here, I have basil, parsley, oregano, and a little bit of thyme. So that's the herbs. You might notice it looks a little wet. That's because I took the dried herbs and added just enough water to get everything wet. So the reason why is because adding that moisture back in makes them more aromatic. So that's going to add more flavor, more everything to our sauce, and that's exactly what we want. So even just like immediately adding that little bit of water in, like I can already smell everything, and it just makes a huge difference. So dried herbs, I added a touch of water again just to get everything kind of moist again, and then we'll finish our sauce with that. Again, fresh onion, fresh garlic. And for our tomatoes, so I'm going with two 28-ounce cans of crushed tomatoes. I highly recommend this brand. So this is Roma tomatoes. The significant difference here is these are going to be slightly less water content, so we're not going to have to simmer it for 4 hours to cook out all that extra moisture. These are much meatier tomatoes, which means it's going to actually stick to our end product and not just make the breading all soggy and gross. So two 28-ounce cans of crushed tomatoes. You can use your preferred brand if you really want. It's fine. So we'll put our sauce pot over here. Get this one going over here. Got it just going on a medium heat. Again, I'm just boiling pasta here, so there's nothing to really freak out about that. All right, so I'm going to start in my saucepan with some olive oil. There we go. About 2 tablespoons. Okay, and let that warm up, and then we'll go in with our garlic and onion, and we're just going to sweat these out, okay? That means we're going to cook them until they start to turn translucent, and then remove them from the heat. We're not looking for a bunch of color. We're not looking to caramelize the onions. We're just kind of starting the cooking process and releasing those flavors and all the aromatics. This is getting nice and warm, so I'm going to start with the onions. I am not going to put in the garlic yet. So you get that nice little sear started, so you can hear it. That's how you know my pan's nice and warm and ready to go. Give these a stir and get everything coated in that oil. And again, we are layering our flavors. You need to season each layer to build the proper flavor profile, okay? So what that means, I'm going to start with a little bit of salt. I'm just going to salt our onions. Dash of pepper, and that's it. But again, we need to layer our flavors and season each layer of the flavor profile that we are building, okay? So again, we're just going to sweat these out, let them cook for just a couple minutes. We're going to go until they start to turn translucent, but again, we're not looking for any real color here, okay? If you notice, I'm not using my beautiful cast iron pans for this. Doing the tomato sauce, it's really high in that acidic level, and it's going to be cooking for 20 to 30 minutes. I don't necessarily want to break up all that extra seasoning that we've built up in our pan. So I'm going in just a standard non-stick pan here, just to get the sauce knocked out for the dish tomorrow. And as I'm working more off camera, I didn't get all dressed up today because I'm just talking to you guys through the camera lens. I'm not even really putting my face on there today, so you'll be alright. And like I said, we will not add our herbs, especially especially if you're using fresh herbs. Do not add them until the very last end, like maybe the last 5 to 10 minutes of the cooking process. That's when your herbs start to turn brown and look off. Fresh herbs, again, especially when they're fresh, add them at the end. Do not add them at the beginning and burn them and get them all brown, and it's not what you want to do. So add your fresh items at the very, very end. Your fresh herbs, that is. All right, so I'm really starting to smell that onion. It's exactly what I want. We're not really getting any color yet, which is good. I'm going to go in with that garlic now. The reason why I started the onion first is because onions take a little bit longer to really release those flavors that we're looking for. Garlic cooks quick. So now I'm going in with the garlic. Again, we're just going to let it sweat here just a little bit. And again, I'm cooking it until I can start to smell that garlic. You might also notice I got the big chunks of garlic, and my onions are not necessarily what you'd think for a sauce, but I'm cleaning out my refrigerator, I'm cleaning out my cabinets. I'm going to use an immersion blender and blend this at the end, so right now I'm not concerned about those pieces being in the sauce. If that is something that you want to be real particular about, then you do that nice a medium dice on your onion. Do that real fine chop on your garlic. Again, I plan to hit this with an immersion blender and possibly run it through some type of colander or sieve or something to get the big chunks out. But all right, so this is looking pretty good. Starting to see a little bit of color, which means I need to either take it off the heat for a minute or add my tomatoes in. I think we're good. I can smell the onion. I can smell the garlic. If you are not at that point to where you're starting to see color and you're not smelling everything all at once, take it off the heat for about 30 seconds. Let that pan temperature drop a little bit. Reduce your heat. Then return your pan back. Okay, kind of slow that cooking process. You don't want a bunch of brown for sure. Okay, but this is good. I'm going to go in with my, again, 2 28-ounce cans of crushed tomatoes. And I'm avoiding excessive splatter, so that's why I kind of use that to kind of break the initial sauce going in the pan there. All right, so right now we've got the garlic, the onion, and now our crushed tomatoes in here. Give this a stir. We're going to let this start to simmer. Keep an eye on that heat. So one thing about the tomato stuff is it will pop and splatter everywhere. So I highly recommend you keep this one covered and just kind of come back and stir it every couple minutes here. Like I said, I'm just giving it a nice good stir. Make sure it's all incorporated good. Look at the body on this already. And like I said, this is the crushed tomatoes, that Contadina brand Roma tomatoes. So they're much meatier, and a lot less seed. So you won't have. There'll be a few here and there, sure, but it's not near like what a typical garden tomato or some of these other crushed tomatoes will give you. This is almost already that sauce consistency that we're looking for. We don't have to do much else to this. Just finish seasoning it. That's why I love those Roma tomatoes. They're so versatile. They really are. All right. So we're going to put our lid on this. We're going to let this come to a slight simmer. And then we can add our herbs and adjust our seasonings, and our tomato sauce is essentially done. Check on the aromatics. That's what I'm doing. Is I'm trying to see if I can smell. So obviously right now I smell sweet tomatoes. I'm starting to get that onion and garlic, but I'm simmering it until all those aromatics really, really infuse and come together, and then that's when I know I'm ready to go in with my herbs. So if this was runnier or waterier, if that's even a word, I would let this simmer for much longer to reduce that until I'm honestly about this consistency. This is about what I'm looking for here. Typically, we'd want to go for that nappe consistency, which essentially means thick enough to coat the back of a spoon. I'm not quite there yet, but again, I'm going to take the immersion blender to this and Once I blend all these onions and things into it, it's going to give it a thicker consistency, and that's going to bring us to that solid nappe consistency that's going to really coat the back of the spoon. So this is still just kind of sliding off the back. It's not really sticking and sitting on the back of the spoon here. See? So we're not quite there yet. We're getting there though. So good already. It's just tomato, onion, and garlic, and it's so good. But I just tasted it a little bit. Definitely need to go back in with some more salt. So probably another. We started with that 1 tablespoon, so I'm going with definitely a 2nd tablespoon here for sure. A little heavy is okay because it needs that salt. Another teaspoon of pepper. Yeah, it needs that salt. That's the good. Kind of the good thing about the tomato is that because it's a thicker sauce, it really lingers on the tongue. So like, I'm still kind of getting those notes, and that salt just isn't there. So I definitely know it needs that salt. But this is why we taste while we cook. So you can always add a little bit more salt if you need to, but you can't necessarily take the salt back out once it's in there. I will say, if that ever occurs and you put too much salt in it for whatever reason, you're using your salt shaker and the lid pops off and the whole thing dumps in there, your best bet at that point is probably just to start over. But take a raw potato, cut it in half, make sure you have the cut side in the sauce, and that potato will just absorb sodium like nothing. Hopefully my video is not getting messed up on you guys. For some reason, while I'm trying to do this, of course, my phone decides to blow up. Grand Central Station over here. So something else that I am looking for in the sauce is like I'm just starting to see my pepper. I know there's the whole debate about, oh, it looks like there's dirt. Don't use black pepper. It looks like it looks like dirt in your sauce, in your potatoes, in your mac and cheese, whatever. I would like to know that my pepper's there and not my dish tastes like gym socks. I'm sorry, but to me, white pepper just smells like gym socks, and I do not want that in my food. So, I go with black pepper. That's a personal choice, and that's just what it is. But again, I'm starting to see that pepper in there. That's what I want. People eat with their eyes. Like, I don't see dirt. I see seasoning. Like, I know my food's seasoned. Like, I'm just different, I guess. I don't know. All right, we're going to keep letting this go, though. It's just about there. Again, I can see my pepper. I still want to go in with a little bit more salt, because I'm telling you, it needed that salt. It needed it bad. But if you guys are unsure, test it first. Get your spoon, do a quick check. Yeah, it needs a little bit more salt, or no, I get salty enough, and leave it. I say it needs more salt. Okay. Let that go for a second. Got this on low, because I don't want it to start boiling and popping and going everywhere. Again, this is some basil, some oregano, a little bit of parsley, and a touch of thyme. I always got time for that. Hi, bud. Can you not lay right there, please, so I don't trip on you? Thanks. Dude, come on. Look at this guy. He's moved again now, of course. He had his neck like outstretched, and if I take a step this way, I could essentially cause some serious damage, and I don't want to do that. Hi, bud. Are you just keeping me company? You're the boy. And I do want to go ahead and give our sauce here a taste, because I want to see where it's at, but I need to adjust. Oh man, it doesn't need much. Oh, that's good. It's so good. It doesn't need much at all. I'm gonna go with a little bit more salt, just a touch. Pinch of more pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with some more granulated garlic and onion, just because I really want that to come through. Got tomato so heavy it's just not coming through quite like I want it to. Like it's there, but not quite what I want. So I'm gonna adjust with the garlic and onion seasonings. Because again, I just kind of cleaned out my fridge and just used what I had left. So that's all right. It's all right. It's what we do here, you know. Oh, that's it. Oh, that is it. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Keep that on low and let it simmer for just another minute or so. That is delicious, though. You guys will have to make that and tell me what you think. Just bring this one over so you can see what I'm doing here. All right, here's my immersion blender. So I'm going in. I'm going to keep it on low because I don't want this to pop and go everywhere. I'm going to start slow. Get back, bud. Slow down, dude. Go. Remove that. Then it's totally up to you, depending on how you like your red sauce. I like a little bit of heat in mine, so I'm going with just a touch of red chili pepper, or red chili flake. Just because, yeah, I like that bit of a heat there. And this won't be too overpowering, so not like the cayenne. Mix that in. Now we got this nice smooth consistency. Look at that. And as I said, since we did the immersion blender and hit it, now we'll get that nice nappe consistency that we were looking for. Oh, that's so good. So good. So you can see it's definitely sticking a lot better than what it was. Oh, that time it. Of course. Still better than what it was. I mean. Okay. Plus, once it cools, it'll tighten up a bit more. Oh, I'm so excited for tomorrow. Highly recommend, guys. Thanks for watching.